Let's now move on to another story here, where all eyes are on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to Washington, as he is all set to hold talks with U.S. President Donald Trump. This marks his first visit since Trump assumed office. Netanyahu will begin talks on a second phase to the Gaza ceasefire in Washington. This statement comes hours after the completion of the fourth hostage prisoner exchange during the truce. The second phase is expected to cover the release of the remaining captives and to include discussions on a more permanent end to the war.
The decisions we made in the war have already changed the face of the Middle East. Our decisions and the courage of our soldiers have redrawn the map. But I believe that working closely with President Trump, we can redraw it even further and for the better. I believe that we can strengthen security, broaden the circle of peace, and achieve a remarkable era of peace through strength.
Meanwhile, as fighting continues in Jenin, a 73-year-old man was killed in Israeli raid in West Bank's Jenin area. The raid comes a day after a series of deadly airstrikes in the occupied region. These are the visuals from West Bank. Smoke was seen billowing to the skies over buildings following explosions during an Israeli raid on the Jenin refugee camp. On Saturday, the Palestinian Health Ministry said that Israeli forces killed 5 people in separate strikes in Jenin. In other developments, Qatar's Prime Minister called on Israel and Hamas to immediately begin negotiating phase 2 of the Gaza ceasefire, adding that there is no clear plan for when the talks will begin. Speaking in Doha at a joint news conference with Turkey's foreign minister, the Qatari Prime Minister said the country was engaging with Israel and Hamas to prepare for the talks, which should, he said, start on Monday. He added that his country was hoping to see some movement in the next few days.
We are always welcoming the Palestinian people here in Doha, but should be also at their choice. It's not, for someone who's been forcibly deported, and we are keeping all the options open for that. And there are multiple countries who are going to host the Palestinian released prisoners, and we are working according to the agreement.
Netanyahu's office says U.S. President's West Asia envoy Steve Witkoff will talk to Qatar and Egypt, which are the key mediators, after which steps to advance the negotiations, including dates for delegations to leave for talks, will be discussed with the Israeli premier. This comes as Israelis protest for hostage release. As exchanges continue, thousands gathered in Tel Aviv demanding the return of hostages from Gaza. 3 more Israelis were freed in exchange for 183 Palestinian prisoners on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Rafah border crossing has reopened for the first time since May 2024. United Nations vehicles, buses and ambulances transported Palestinian patients from Gaza into Egypt. The initial list includes 50 injured militants, 50 wounded civilians and escorts, with another 100 expected to cross on humanitarian grounds.
The moment we were informed that we needed to head to Rafah border crossing to bring Moatsam out for treatment, the feelings were overwhelming and we felt so happy.
And in Syria, the country's new ruler, Ahmed al-Sharaa, met Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This is Syrian leader's first international visit since taking power following the toppling of Bashar al-Assad last year. Accompanied by his foreign minister, Sharaa was greeted by Saudi officials on arrival in Riyadh. It is important to note here that Saudi Arabia's King Salman and his son, Prince Mohammed, were among the first to congratulate the Syrian ruler on his official appointment. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.